Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. We are so delighted to have a live global audience for this very special event. My name is Andrea Durkin. I'm the president of Women in International Trade, the Washington, D.C. chapter. We have some 750 individual women who practice in the field of international trade. And given our location and our policy focus, we often partner with embassies to showcase stories of women who are achieving economic success around the world. And this year, it's our great honor to partner with our newest embassy member, the Embassy of the State of Qatar, Office of the Commercial Attaché, as well as with the US-Qatar Business Council and Qatari Businesswomen Association based in Doha, together to bring you a unique program in celebration of International Women's Day 2021. Today, you're going to hear from a distinguished panel of Qatari businesswomen and entrepreneurs who excel in their fields while also creating opportunities for others. Before we begin this important conversation about how Qatari women are shaping the present and the future economic vibrance of their nation, I would like to express a special thank you to the Qatari Businesswomen Association Vice Chairwoman Ms. Aisha Al-Fardan, as well as US-Qatar Business Council President Ambassador Patterson. Both women are certainly trailblazers in their own right, and we'll be so privileged to hear from them just momentarily. I also want to acknowledge acclaimed Qatari artist, Ms. Mariam El-Mallah, who created a painting in honor of this event and in honor of the US-Qatar enduring relationship. I'll tell you, there is so much goodwill and good feeling behind this event, and her beautiful art is an expression of that. I also want to thank our many esteemed audience members today, and I want to mention just a few before we get started. They include Ambassador Greta Holtz at the US Embassy in Qatar, Brigadier General Dr. Samaya El-Rashid, who is with the Qatar Armed Forces, Ms. Jaskala Kalali, Executive Director of the Qatari Businesswomen Association. We also have Ms. Lisa Saad, the Executive Director of the American Chamber of Commerce in Qatar, Kimberly Russo, CEO of the George Washington University Hospital, Nieta Wise, President and CEO of the Charleston Sister Cities International, Kathy Risco, Executive Director of Sister Cities Pittsburgh, Sir Stephen Baldwin, he's the owner of the women's soccer team, the Washington Spirit, Megan Shiljan, Commercial Counselor at the US Embassy Qatar, and last but not least, Ms. Hend Erimai, who is not only a diplomat in Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but she is also a celebrated fashion designer. There are so many accomplished women on that list. I think it's a great transition to our program. The Middle East is certainly changing, and the role of women in Qatar is absolutely emblematic of this change. The role of women and their significance to the country's economic development and its sustainability is enshrined in Qatar's 2030 national vision. The government of Qatar empowers women's economic participation by supporting growth in women's careers, but it all begins with a quality education. Now, not many of us know that Qatar has the highest female economic participation rate in the Arab world at a whopping 59%, and that Qatar's unemployment rate for women is the second lowest in the world at 0.3%. Women in Qatar comprise 30% of decision-making positions in the nation, including in the business sector. And importantly, there are twice as many female students enrolled in universities in Qatar as there are males. In fact, nearly 2/3 of all graduates in Qatar are women. And Qatar's percentage of female engineering students is double that of the United States. Clearly, Qatar is doing something very right. And so now it's my great pleasure to introduce Vice Chairman of the Qatari Businesswomen Association, Ms. Aisha Al-Fardan. Ms. Al-Fardan? You're still on mute, Ms. Al-Fardan. There you go.
Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to our friends in the United States and good afternoon to whom's joining us in Qatar. First, I would like to welcome you all and extend my sincere thanks to Qatar Embassy in the United States, Mr. Fahad Al-Dosari, the Commercial Attaché, and our partners, the US-Qatar Business Council and the Association of Women in International Trade, for organizing these events to mark the International Women's Day at this challenge time the world is going through, where women stand at the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis as some of the most outstanding and effective leaders in fighting the pandemic. This crisis taught us many things, a lot of things actually. Taught us not to take anything for granted. Taught us patience and strength. Taught us the business must always find creative ways to operate in order to survive. But above all, it taught us that we must think of the future in different ways. Qatar, under the wise leadership of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani and His Highness the Father Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani and Her Highness Sheikh Moza bint Nasser, paved the way for creating an enabling environment that supports women's participation. And this has become part of Qatar's long-term strategy. Qatar National Vision 2030 considers the advancements of the role of women and their participation one of its main objectives. Qatar has made every possible effort to remove barriers and enhance women's role at all levels and fields, and this has been positively reflected in the fact that Qatar women have been holding leadership position in all fields. This explains the high employment rate and females' labor participation rate of 59%, which is above the global average and the highest in the Arab world. Ladies and gentlemen, we in the Qatari Businesswomen Association have worked very hard to build this platform that became a key between the most important local and international partners and the businesswomen in Qatar, and gained a great importance in promoting women as key players in the global economy. It has been very important to us to advocate the role of businesswomen in healing the global economy and building a new foundation for the economy of the future. Ours, our daughters, our granddaughters' future. Allow me to end this speech with a message to the future generation. Young women and men, never give up on your dream. Stick to your dream and believe in yourself and your dream. Plan, work hard, and make your dream true. Your country is counting on you. The whole world is counting on you. Happy International Women's Day and my best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a beautiful message. Thank you so much. And now it's my pleasure at this part of the program to turn to Ambassador Ann Peterson.
Thank you so much. And it's such a privilege to be teamed with so many impressive Qatari and American women. This is a great way to celebrate National Women's Day. When I talk about the business environment in Qatar, I always like to start off with what I believe are some incredible numbers about Qatar's global standing. Qatar's sixth in the world in the quality of science and math education, fifth in the quality of education system, seventh in the country's capacity to recruit talent, and more importantly, ninth in the capacity to retain talent. These figures are from the World Economic Forum. In other words, Qatar is a country taking dramatic steps to modernize its educational system and its economy. And an important element of that is advancing women in all fields, and particularly in business. For the past several years, I've been pleased to meet many impressive businesswomen in Qatar, including US-Qatar Business Council's Managing Director in Doha, Ms. Al-Thani. Qatar is developing female talent because its leadership is aware that increased female participation in the labor force is without exception a driver of a more prosperous and more open society. And we are fortunate today to have a number of prominent Qatari businesswomen speak about that. But I wanted to address myself to issues that could affect the decisions of American firms who want to expand their operations there. One of the questions I get most often in my position at USQBC is whether an expatriate woman will be accepted as a businesswoman in Qatar. In fact, it was the very first question I received at an event in Miami 3 years ago when a woman in the hospitality industry asked to speak to me privately. She wanted to do business in Qatar, but was unsure if she would be welcome. American women and men ask if a woman can successfully represent a large firm or whether a woman will be able to open a small business. I wonder sometimes if people ask this because Qatar hosts more traditional American companies like defense or security and oil and gas, which is not surprising given Qatar's role as the world's largest supplier of natural gas. But the answer to that question is an enthusiastic yes. There are enormous opportunities for women and for foreign companies in Qatar who just happen to be represented by women. But American companies should just send the best person they have for the job, whether male or female. Qatar is establishing itself as a regional hub for South Asia, and its expansion of its LNG capacity will open up many additional opportunities in finance, consumer goods, hospitality, not to mention oil and gas, and sports. The opportunities in sports are not just those generated by the 2022 World Cup, but the Asian Games in 2030 as Qatar positions itself as a long-term leader in the sports field. USQBC recently had the privilege to host a really fascinating webinar about the huge variety of business opportunities generated by large sporting events. American firms overseas also want dedicated, talented local employees, and here education is key. As you mentioned, Qatar's graduating more women than men. And this is not only a function of Qatar's promotion of female participation, but also the very practical effect of the US affiliated universities, which have been established in Doha for engineering, for the foreign service, and for the arts. Unlike many universities in the Middle East, these schools have been graduating large numbers of men and women with skills needed in the modern economy. As you mentioned, Texas A&M graduates more female petroleum engineers in Doha than in Texas. I was looking up the number of graduates a couple of days ago when I saw that not only does Texas A&M have an agreement in engineering with the Qatari Businesswomen Association, but it also has 9 faculty members who are included on a list by Stanford University of the most prominent scientists in the world. In other words, 15% of its faculty. Well, what does this mean? It means that American firms who set up shop in Qatar or expand will find an increasingly educated and capable labor force. And we hear from American businesses that they are very impressed with their Qatari female employees. This growing presence of Qatari women in business also contributes to a more welcome environment for expatriate businesswomen because she will find many local women in professional positions. Qatari women also have a very high retention rate in the workforce, by far the highest in the Arab world. So a company's investment in training its employees will not be lost. So Qatar is a great business destination for men and women alike. In closing, I wanted to encourage our viewers to look at the webpage for the US Qatar Year of Culture, which offers a broad array of activities for the US and Qatar to work on together. And many of our viewers would like to participate in some. Thank you.
Ambassador Patterson, thank you for your insights and sharing your expertise and experience as a longtime American businesswoman and diplomat operating in the region. I'm an adjunct professor at Georgetown University's Foreign Service Program, and I'm aware that there is a tremendous array of universities and resources in Doha. It's so impressive what's been built there. Before we kick off the panel, we have a short video for you. To introduce today's panel and our moderator is Tara Sabag. Tara is Chief of Staff to U.S. Congressman Rick Larsen of the state of Washington. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we were so delighted to honor Tara Sabag as our Emerging Leader 2020 at the Women of International Trade. So over to you, Tara.
Great, thanks so much. It's an honor to be here today to introduce our panelists and our moderator. The three panelists are all accomplished Qatari businesswomen. I won't do their bios any justice, so please click on them on your own because I only have a short amount of time and they're all so very accomplished. The first one is Michelle Al-Ansari. She is the board member of the Qatar Businesswomen Association and a restaurateur. She was the 2012 Businesswoman of the Year and is all about climbing ladders. As Qatar turned its focus onto football, so did she by helping to build the first anti-doping lab in the Middle East and West Asia. She was then appointed to marketing and comms director and then special projects director. She is also a restaurateur and has spent the year 2020 in the States with her family, taking parts in workshops and discussions with the University of Indiana Department of Eastern Languages and Cultures, representing Qatari women. The second panelist is Chef Sarah El-Sayed. She is an acclaimed chef and the founder of Société. She has been baking and designing her own pastries since she was a teenager. In 2017, she was working full-time in the corporate world and also found time to launch B2B, a business-to-business concept for bakery. A couple of years later, she started Société, which provides consulting and project development to other small and medium-sized businesses. It's a central bakery for B2B sales and a baking academy that services the general public. She is one of Qatar's few celebrated female chefs. The third panelist is Reem Al-Swaidi. She is an acclaimed entrepreneur and founder of Cycle. Reem's work as a member and advisor of new businesses has made her a feature in several magazines, including Business Qatar, 2019, 48 top most influential people in Qatar in finance in 2015. Her path is full of success and collaboration with other women entrepreneurs in Qatar. She found Cycle, a bike rental business encouraging women and children to bike in Qatar, and she continues to serve as an advisor for women and new businesses in Qatar. And then our moderator of these three panelists is Amanda Huron, is a moderator and is one of the most successful women in trade in DC. She has served as the chief negotiator for the financial services section of key pacts such as Trade and Services Agreement, TISA, Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, TTIP, and the Bilateral Investment Treaty, BIT, with China, when she was the senior director for trade and investment at USTR. She is currently the vice president and head of government relations for Europe, Middle East, and Africa at MetLife. She supports MetLife's government relations for companies, international businesses in the region. She also has represented MetLife's interests before the United States and foreign governments. These are our panelists today and our moderator. Like I said, it's an honor to be here today. Happy International Women's Day. And I look forward to a great year ahead of the relationship between US and Qatar and a great year of women.
Thank you, Tara. Really appreciate all the kind remarks and all the welcomes for our panelists. I'm absolutely delighted to join today's program with such distinguished leaders. I'd like to add my thanks to all of the organizers of today's event, and particularly everyone that's supporting us behind the scenes. As Tara mentioned, I'm representing MetLife, one of the world's largest and leading financial services companies. With operations in more than 40 countries, including in Qatar, MetLife provides insurance, savings, and other financial products to help our customers protect and grow their financial futures. And for us at MetLife, I just wanted to say from the outset, given the topic today, diversity and inclusion is a global business marketplace, and sustainability an imperative. And with our gender equality initiative, we're working to build a diverse, equitable, and inclusive company for women. We've made progress through our efforts. Today across the globe, more than 50% of all of our employees are women, 40% of our management are women, 30% of our executive group, and 30% of our board are women. And I'm pleased to say that our EMEA region, so my boss, is also a woman. Ms. Nuria Garcia is the head of our region, and she's also coincidentally our board member on the USQBC. And last but certainly not least, here in Qatar, 62% of my colleagues on the ground in Qatar are also women. So we've made progress, but by no means are we resting on our laurels. We are continuing to drive forward for more progress. And in that regard, MetLife was the first US-based insurer to sign the UN's Women Empowerment Principles. And our CEO and President, Michelle Khalaf, will be speaking at a UN Global Compact panel next week. So we're very excited for the progress that we've made and for all of the future progress. And it is now my pleasure to kick off a panel with three amazing business leaders who are truly shaping the present in Qatar, but also leading the future. So with that, let me dive into the discussion. And Michelle, I'm going to kick it off with you, if you don't mind. So the first question to you is, studies have shown, and we know that, when you demonstrate having diversity within a company and on your leadership team, that it really does have long-term benefits for business. Can you talk about the trends that you've seen with regard to women's roles in business in Qatar, and how you see that driving the business growth in the market?
Thank you, Amanda. Well, it's really kind of difficult to point out one or two trends, but what I can say is the evolution of the women's role in any organization that added a lot of diversity. Mindsets have changed, and today Qatar is internationally recognized. Qatar today is in the global platform, and because we are in the global platform, we are required to evolve, and we require to be able to have the human resources that are able to cope and to strengthen our international communication. The evolution of the business world today, as it moves forward, I think it became an equal platform where everyone can give to achieve the goals and targets of any organization, private or public.
Great, thanks. Sarah, I'm going to turn to you next. We had a brief conversation ahead of the call about your culinary career, and I was wondering if you can share some of the important steps that you had to take to build your capability in Qatar and to grow your business, particularly as it relates to sort of all the nuts and bolts of financing, marketing, sourcing of partners.
Well, first of all, there are certain stages I have taken to start, then there are certain stages and steps I have done to sustain. So I'm going to share the most steps I took to sustain the business, because actually to start is very easy, but to sustain and to maintain is the most difficult one. So the first thing I did a forecast study, and I have been gathering data. I've been having focused groups. The focused groups, I focused on the young generation to be a part of the focused group. I have revised some of the case studies about entrepreneurship back when I was an MBA graduate. We have taken the considerations of a lot of methodologies in terms of financing. First of all, I started on my own. I had a little capital and a little funds that I have been saving. The idea started to save those funding to start a coffee shop. But after I did the forecasting and we did the studies, we have focused on the B2B on Qatar. We have been gathering Doha. We found that there is a need in the market to establish a B2B platform to serve SMEs. We don't have that particular type of businesses where you serve as a B2B to SMEs. So I went to QDB, Qatar Development Bank. I explained to them my idea and I provided them my financial forecasting. And I said to them, we need to collaborate together to gather also all our informations and to start something that is dedicated to SMEs and the B2B platforms. So actually I got financed by QDB along with my own funding. And I started to benchmark with companies like Accor, companies like in the hospitality management, I would say the Six Senses group, to see how the hospitality divisions are running up. And the most company, like the ones that helped me a lot is Boyker. Boyker is all over the world. So we started to invest more in that field, investing all the funds in acquiring the knowledge how to sustain a hospitality division dedicated to SMEs.
That's great. So it's a great story too, and I think it really shows how you take a look at, you start one direction, but based on all of the work that you put into this, realize there was a real business need that wasn't being fulfilled by anyone else, and so that led you down the path you're currently on, which is really, really tremendous. Reem, we'll go to you next. And I was very intrigued by your cycle business. I have to confess, I don't think I've been on a bicycle in about 10 years. So it brought back happy memories. I haven't had the opportunity to do much cycling. But can you share with us how your experiences with success and failure throughout your entire entrepreneurial career really supported the buildup of this business?
First, I would like to say Happy International Day to all women there, working, not working, just a home-stayed mom. I'm actually expecting, I'm pregnant in my 6th month, so I can feel it's been like really hard to work and be pregnant at the same time. And all women we walk in the same path. So really, just Happy International Day. Enjoy your day. Enjoy life is not only about work, but you actually have to do the work and then just find the time to enjoy it with your family and with your friends. My entrepreneurship journey actually started when I was really young. My father always taught us to save some money on the side. So he would give us like our pocket money, and then would just tell us you need to save it till the end of the month. And I always found that the pocket money he gave us was a bit small. So I would always invest this money in some of the businesses I used to create. I was when I started this, I was just in high school. There's lots of failures. You can't be a success. Everyone knows in entrepreneurship, you can't be a success unless you fail like hundreds and thousands of times. Building up my bicycle business, we used to be a group of people who enjoyed bicycles, and at the time 4 years ago it was really awkward to see women just cycling on the roads or cycling on the beach. So it was something really awkward, and we were thinking of how can we change that mindset to making all women actually cycle and making it easy for women. So when we started the business, we were thinking about logistics. How can we actually make the women go? And because it was really hard for women, our cycling paths, it's not like connected to our houses. So our house is a little bit far from the cycling path. As a start, we were thinking of making this business only to women and directed only to women. We would actually rent some of the places where the cycling paths were, and we would rent to women and make like women cycling days. We found out that lots of women, like we had around 60 to 100 bicycles, and we had around like 1,000 women. Even we couldn't get to all of the people. So we're thinking by that, we found out that it's not only actually the women who are like struggling with the bicycles rent, it was also the men and the families. So then we thought of like having, of actually opening rental shops. And with the time, actually now bicycles, there's lots of bicycles shops around the world who just opened for renting, especially like the e-bikes and the e-scooters are like trending these days. So we just opened. Currently we have 3 branches, and we're expanding day by day. Our fleet is like around 500 bicycles, and every day is a joy because it's not just business to me, it's actually a social community. So like I know the people who come to the shop, they actually know me. We make some events together. We have the breast cancer awareness day. We just make it as very fun for everyone to come and enjoy a bicycle ride.
That's great. Should I want to get on a bicycle again, I will the next time.
Definitely, you will be invited.
Yeah, I'm sensing a theme as we've begun the conversation, and it's really one of trailblazing. All 3 of you have shared stories, about the work that you've done. That's not only trailblazing as as women entrepreneurs and business women, but also this discovery of areas that haven't been done before, whether it's the anti-doping agency or the B2B niche supporting SMEs, or just bicycle services for the enjoyment of the community. All of these things are speaking to, I think, the very impressive sort of trailblazing spirit that all of you have. So it's really very enjoyable for me to learn more about your stories. I'd like to pivot a little bit and talk about the role that the state of Qatar has played and the success of women in the business community. Michelle, if we could go to you, from your perspective, what are some of the greatest positive changes that you've seen in Qatar as a female entrepreneur?
This question in particular, I have firsthand experience, as I was one of the first female entrepreneurs in Qatar. I opened a photography studio, and I am the first female entrepreneur who opened a Japanese restaurant in Qatar. And I've seen how the business environment and how services have been available and the perceptions have really changed. Today, we have so many businesswomen and so many young female entrepreneurs that are working in many sectors, many segments, from cycling and baking and from retail and real estate, hospitality. They're practically everywhere, and I'm so proud to see that Qatar today has an open platform that anyone can compete and participate and open up a business and thrive. For me, when I first started, it was very challenging. There was so much resistance. I remember going to one of the ministries, and he's like, "Why are you here? Where's your husband? Or where's your brother? You're not supposed to be here." And imagine working in a mixed environment, they took it very negatively. So imagine opening a business. But I was lucky enough to be successful, and I was really able to thrive thanks to the support of my family and my husband. And today we are in a different world. It seems that I'm, very proud to be part of the development and to see Qatar, how it has evolved today.
Great. Very, very inspiring too to hear about, your journey from the, the early struggles that you've had to now, and, how you've walked that path of evolution. It's really, really special. Sarah, coming back to you, I noted in your bio, you had an inspirational quote about using adversity and using challenge to your benefit. Have you had to overcome any societal challenge when you were developing your business? And how did your friends and family react when you told them that you were going to pursue a culinary career?
First of all, they were very supportive, honestly. But when it comes to opportunities like having a TV show that wants to host me, or I've been getting lots of opportunities to be a moderator in certain kind of program, or to publish my own podcast on Apple, and they are like not ready for it. So they like this year they allowed me, okay, you can do editorial videos, and it's okay to share your voice, to share little parts of you. They were okay with it. They are evolving. So by next year, maybe they will allow me to be presentable. But honestly, to be honest with you, I like my privacy. Like, it's not about social culture matter. I like my privacy. Privacy is a very important thing to me, because as part of my duty is to work at the back of the house. I like to do mass production. So people who are running in this field, in the mass production, and they are producing, I'd rather to be kept always, how can I say, not anonymous, mysterious. Like, let me tell you the truth. I run a consultation company. So this consultation company, we provide menu development, we provide food costing studies, we provide marketing strategies. We are not filming any marketing tools to show our face, who we are. We just keep it in the website, and we do some little bits marketing tactics without showing ourselves. Today, we are #1 in the hospitality division in Qatar that provide consultations to SMEs as well as to franchises, because we believe that focusing on work, focusing on doing mass production is better than being always on the social media talking always about how successful we are. So we are #1 today in that field because we have privacy. We have privacy on how we run the work, how we run the scope of work. Even clients, like when they met us, like they tell us why we see your achievements and we see the amount of ex-clients you have on your page, but we don't see you. I said, this is how we want to speak to each other. Like, we want to be benchmarked with the big brands. Like, you don't know who's behind Boyker, you don't know who's behind Supreme, for etc. You don't know who's behind other divisions, other Paul Bakery, for instance. Because when I first started, I had few sessions with the marketing agency in Houston. It's called Drop Cap Design. So they told me the first question: who do you want to be the brand, your product or yourself? So I got this question, and it came from someone in the US and different culture in the US and different culture in Doha. I said, my product, they said, okay, work on that. Don't work on the image, because this is how successful companies sustain. They work on the product rather than they work on how to be perceived in the social media or how to be shown in every, yeah.
That's great. We have the expression, well done is better than well said. And I
Yeah.
your work is a testament to that. Reem, how about you? From your experience and perspective, how have you seen the business culture in Qatar change over time, and particularly as it relates to the role of women in the workforce? Oh, I think you're on mute, Reem.
Sorry for that. I actually worked as a GM with Bidaya Center for the past 10 years, and I've been working with all the small businesses. And actually, it really changed. The culture really changed, especially for women. Because like 10 years ago, when we talked about entrepreneurship, no one actually understand what is entrepreneurship. Even in Arabic, it's called Riyadat al-A'mal. So they're like, what's that? But then we just made it really simple, just starting a business, but maybe with a different mindset to the business. So maybe answering a question, maybe fixing a problem that exists in the community, maybe giving like unique solutions and IT technologies. So I can see like from the first here in Qatar, we used to 10 years ago, we used to really rely on our salaries of wherever we used to work in. People would say like, why would I start a business rather than just rely on the salary, when actually just my business makes me maybe I would fail and lose all the money I have saved in my life, rather than just having a secure salary. So I would say the first barrier to businesses that people were facing is just the security of the finances or the funds they have. But when we worked with them, we worked with women and men. We explained to them, it's not about the security of the money. It's about actually you can time that by 10 if you started the business. And every year we'd actually see increasing number of businesses. We helped around more than 10,000 customers of women and men, and around 40% of that was actually women who just started a business, or we started with really small businesses. So we were doing micro businesses or home-based businesses, and we actually even the ministry supported when they saw the involvement of home businesses. They actually had some governmental regulations for the home-based businesses, and how can they make it easy for women to actually work from home and still they have lots of things they can do. They can actually work as an IT person, or work on graphics, create an app, and there's 6 different fields that they can actually work from home, and it's approved from the government. And we have still from the years, every year we have seen lots of women who are actually starting a business, because lots of people, when they come to anywhere, any governmental, they just think that the women are focused maybe in cooking and just fashion, and we tell them, no way, women are everywhere. Trust me, even in my shop, in my bicycle shop, people come and who's the owner? So when I tell them I'm the owner, oh, but you're a girl, why are you having a bicycle shop? Why are you doing the mechanics by yourself? And I'm like, come on, people enjoy just riding the bike, whether they're women, kids, it doesn't matter. Sport is for everyone. So I see it culturally, women has progressed a lot in the entrepreneurship field. Plus, doing all the fields that we did not see them maybe 10 years ago when we started with them in the business. And even we see it today, actually younger generations are coming more and more to start the entrepreneurship from an earlier age. We used to work with the schools, and we found that even in schools like grade 11 and 12, we found that like maybe around 5 to 10% of people actually who started a business, even if it's a small business, like selling juices or selling whatever it is, but it actually, this moves the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and you can see them maybe tomorrow the CEO of something very great in future.
That's excellent. Thank you. We've heard a lot about the role of the State of Qatar and all of the work that they go in, that they've put into supporting women's education, with women's business development. Michelle, I'm curious if I could turn to you to also learn a bit more about how the Qatari Businesswomen Association helps support women and women leaders in the business community.
Qatari Businesswomen Association, actually, we provide a platform to empower business and professional women, and we unlock the potential of the future generation in support of Qatar National Vision 2030. We organize a range of different events and activities, building partnerships with local and international entities, and building bridges of cooperation to pave the way for new investment opportunities in various sectors. And we deal with a lot of the embassies, with the trade, and we try to support them and mentor them as much as we can.
That's great. I want to alert our audience that I'm going to transition to the Q&A portion and open it up for questions from our audience. You can enter your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll take on as many as we can. While you guys are all thinking about your questions, I want to ask the panel, all of you together, a question while we're waiting for Q&A to come in. We heard from Vice Chairwoman Al-Fardan, her inspiring comments to future generations, and everyone that's growing up now, and sort of standing on all of the work that's come before them. As current leaders and role models in Qatar, what advice would you give to young women who are thinking about their future careers?
I could say something. Well, there are lots of things that Qatar has given us. You have a Qatar Development Bank that supports all the businesses financially, and they help you prepare the visibility studies and everything. Take advantage of what's out there. You have Bidaya, as Reem has said, Qatar Incubator Center, and Qatar Development Bank. Never give up, as Aisha has said, and aim for the sky. You have all the support from Her Highness Sheikh Moza, and she sort of like paved the way for all us women to and she empowered us to thrive. So take advantage of what Qatar has to offer and aim for the skies.
That's great. Sarah, Reem, any additional comments from your end? Love your insights.
You can start.
No, go ahead, Reem, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sarah, it's okay.
Okay, so Amanda, basically, regarding your question, what advice that we can give to the young who would like to be part of the entrepreneurship field? As part of our company, as we do consultations, we meet regularly with young females that would like to invest, that would like to be something, that would like to have a business model to go through. So my advice, don't open a business just because your friend has one and she's doing well, or your sister has one and she's doing well. Open a business by finding what is needed in the market, study the supply and demand. This is what I would really suggest as the first advice, is to identify what's the supply and demand in the current market, of course, in the current situation with COVID-19. The second advice I would say, always do a business portfolio. Try to do online consultations with investors abroad or marketing analysts abroad. Always try to seek the know-how, but from an outsider point of view or an outsider scale, rather than getting the know-how from an insider or someone who's already been in the field but doesn't have that long or big exposure on the field. So this is my two advice to the young entrepreneurs. Great, thanks, Sarah. And Reem?
I think we should take the questions first. Then there's too many questions, then there's little time.
They are starting to pile up. I see we're joined now on screen by Hind Habash, and I understand the first question is going to go to you. So if you'd like to ask your question to the panel, please go ahead.
Sure, thank you. Many thanks to our hosts and our distinguished panel. So I'm a part of an organization called SheWorks. SheWorks is a social impact enterprise seeking to close the unemployment and gender gap while empowering the global talent pool of women using disruptive technologies. Our mission is to provide millions of people that leave their jobs every year the opportunity to work on their own terms. We're focused on connecting women seeking the freelancer employment opportunities with companies who are really looking to for the demand access and talent and data analytics. But we're also helping companies that drive diversity by connecting them with an international pool of certified women. Many of them are in the STEM sector, providing tools to hire, monitor, and manage distributed teams. But we also understand that landing their job is only half the battle, or creating the business in this sense. Through SheWorks Academy, we provide the professionals and we provide recent grads the opportunity to develop their skills. So we also upskill through SheWorks Academy to better compete in the labor market by increasing their employability. So my question for the panel here is, from the speed of modern business to the rapid response to COVID-19, enabling millions of people to work remotely, it's hard to imagine a world without cloud technology. The cloud continues to transform connectivity between people and businesses on a global scale, from delivery services to really streamlining startup incubators. How has COVID affected how you interact with technology, and how do you think digital infrastructure training and cloud technology should be studied more closely to help women stay competitive in a post-COVID era?
Okay, I will go with your question, Hind. I would say that digital technology during the COVID-19 situation has really helped us to understand that investing in the manpower is no longer the priority. Investing in digital technology in order to run the business, make it easier, is the key. So what I did in comparison to that, of course, we were requested to work from home. We were requested to have certain distances. We were requested not to meet each other, not to hold meetings. So these certain restrictions allowed us to look for alternative solutions. So I've seen a lot of communication companies started to grow up in Doha, providing e-solutions for everything. Just case of example, the e-link for payment. You are no longer requested to go and pay in cash. The e-link is one tool that we follow it. The ordering systems. I'm not talking application, etc. No, the ordering inventory system. I will show you how digital technology have helped us during this stage how to manage inventory. Like back we was doing the LIFO and FIFO methods, you need manpower. You need to be on a certain room trying to do calculations. So we invested digitally to do a customized inventory system to help us to manage our inventory for next month. This won't ever have happened unless we had this COVID-19. I will tell you why, because we were focusing more on manpower. We need manpower to do this. We need manpower. We're running shortage of staff to do this. Because of COVID-19, we started to realize on, okay, let's do this on a digital way. No need for us to meet. Let's do this in an e-commerce. Why do we have to go and sell? So I would say this has been like a deal breaker for us. And if we did not invest in digital platforms to sustain our businesses, believe me, we have shut down like a year ago when this first pandemic happened.
Thank you, Sarah, and apologies for being on mute. One of the things that I would like to invest in is a mute button that I can actually find when I need it instead of. Reem and Michelle, any comments from your end about the impact of COVID-19 and your ability to use technology to get around some of that, continue your business?
We actually find here in Doha, lots of businesses have actually transformed to technology. Especially we have seen like one of the biggest companies that I would say that we saw in COVID-19 was Sununu, who started as a delivery company, but actually grew to be maybe the next Amazon. With finding all the products, and we actually use the platform to sell some of our bicycles, which was a great thing in the pandemic, as we had to close for 3 months as world was going through lockdown. So I would say COVID helped us a lot. Like in my business, we transformed everything to technology. We've developed new systems, and we are launching the e-bike and e-scooter system maybe in a few months or so. So that's it.
Great, thanks. Michelle?
I don't have anything to add.
I know we're coming up on time. I did want to get to one question from the Q&A line, and I think it sort of sums up everything that we've talked about, and I'll throw it out to the group, and anyone who'd like to chime in, I would welcome your thoughts. Are there, and we've touched on some of this in the conversation, but is there any change that you see would be welcome in Qatari society? And the other side of the question is, and what traditions would you preserve? What is what is special and unique about the business sector in Qatar that you think should be preserved?
If I would start, I would say having a woman entrepreneurship is really important. And what I would like to be preserved is it's not a world full of women, but actually men is supporting us every day. When I started, even like before my GM position and Bidaya Center, the most people who supported me, monitored me were men, and that's great. We'd like to see that more in future, not being scared of a woman to enter the room. I used to sit in the board of Bidaya Center as well, and everyone who supported me were men as well. So we would like not only women supporting women in future, but also men supporting men, and everyone, just society supporting each other. And at the end of the day, we would just like to see a better Qatar, better communication to the world, and a better image for everyone.
Yeah, that idea of shared prosperity is so important. Thank you, Reem. Any other comments from the panel before I turn it back over to Andrea? No. Okay. Well, before I turn it to you, Andrea, I just wanted to thank this amazing panel of leaders. This has been an excellent conversation. I very much appreciated learning more about each of you and your your trajectory and the business community in Qatar. And with that, I'll close and turn it back to you, Andrea.
Thank you, Amanda. What an incredible showcase of talent. Chef Sarah, Reem, and Michelle, I was really inspired. You guys show passion and drive and true savvy. You're all an inspiration and a wonderful example, not only of Qatar's future, but hopefully the world's future if other countries offer the same opportunities that you've been able to take advantage of in Qatar. Thank you for that wonderful panel. So to close, we have, I think, what is a unique and really beautiful way to close out the program. It's a music video featuring Ms. Donna Al-Fardan. Ms. Al-Fardan is Qatar's only contemporary female composer. And she was recently appointed as the official composer for Qatar Airways global flights. She's been an advocate for peace through cultural dialogue, and she composed the official song, which we'll all get to hear next year for the Lusail Stadium, which is going to host the opening and closing matches of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, of course. So the song that you're going to see performed is called Rising. Ms. Al-Fardan was inspired to write this song and to collaborate with the US Air Force Band at Central Command after a visit to Qatar by the Washington Spirit women's soccer team. So the visit and the song that it inspired, as well as this collaboration with the US Air Force Band, I think perfectly emblemize the broad US-Qatar relationship, as well as the spirit of inclusion and empowerment that was really embodied by today's program. So thank you to our organizers, thank you to our speakers and our panelists, and thank you to all of you for joining our program today. Please enjoy this wonderful video.
The night grows silent as the sun meets the sky. Your voice it's rising when there's no place to hide. Deep inside, there's a hope that we share within the light of a world built together where we fly. Say the words and I will stay to live forever, bounded by the light of day that will never sever. All of the ties and the gleam in our eyes that has won. So when the sun